Still on the massacre, the New York Times says the Republicans will consider banning the bump stock kits used in Vegas to turn rifles into rapid-fire weapons. Pete Hegseth is with us, and he's an Army veteran, and he's a Fox and Friends weekend co-host. The GOP, the Republicans, have always resisted almost any kind of gun control, but now they're on board with this. What say you?
Well, they're going to be liked by the New York Times for 2 weeks before the New York Times turns on them again, because they want New York Times and others want way more than a bump stock. That's where they start in this debate. They may cave, but it's not going to be effective. After every one of these instances, we look for the one thing we could have done. It's already illegal to modify a semi-automatic weapon into an automatic weapon. He broke numerous laws in committing this.
But the kits are available. I mean, they're relatively cheap, and you can do it.
You can do it, and guess what? We live in a technologically advanced world where if you want to buy a 3D printer and print your own bump stock, you probably can. So we're not going to legislate our way out of this. Stu, we live in a free country, a free society where stupid people are free to do, unfortunately, stupid things, and when they're against the law, they'll be treated as such. But in this case, bump stock legislation or not, if he wanted to get it, he probably could have.
It doesn't amount, in your opinion, it doesn't amount to a whole hill of beans. It's not that big a deal. You ban these bump stock things, it's not that big a deal?
I don't think you should be banning the bump stock, personally. I don't think we should start down that slope. I don't think a piece of equipment is going to stop whether or not someone is going to find a way to kill a lot of people if they want to. See, the people will say, this is common sense. Well, to some people's common sense, to others is nonsense. Where do you draw that line? Where do you stop? Can you own 5 guns? Can you own 10? Can you own 15? The left wants to go as far as they can to restrict the Second Amendment. And the minute you start talking about pieces of equipment or magazines or size, you start to go down a slope where one man's common sense leads to lunacy.
I just have the feeling that it's not a good idea to have a very simple piece of equipment that can turn a regular rifle into a killing machine, a military-style killing machine. Personally, I don't object if you ban that thing. I don't think it'll have much effect, but I don't object to you banning it.
It won't have much effect. I think a lot of people, that's the reason why Republicans are moving in that direction, because I think there is a sense that we can do this one small thing and you can look sensible and you can look bipartisan and everyone can pat themselves on the back in Washington and say, we did something about it, when it won't be effectual at all.
All right, Pete Hegseth, you know what you're talking about, which is a good thing to have on this program.